Such a wonderful day for adventure. Hello and salutations, my name is John Johnson and welcome to another episode of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. In the last episode, we went through the big Goron sword trading quest. Breathe. I kind of forgot I need to do that there for a second. We went through the big Goron trading quest and got our big Goron sword, which is pretty awesome. And in this episode, we're going to be doing a few little side stuff real quick, heartbeat stuff if you don't mind. One of which is right over here by this tree. And then we are going to be heading into the next temple of the game, the water temple, which I know everybody's been looking forward to. You know what? Let's bomb this tree. Yeah, bomb this tree, and there's a hole right here. Do this after getting the iron boots, because as you can see, there's nothing in here but a big pool of water. But first off, let's take care of this here Tektite. Tektites are going to be in this episode and the next episode a whole lot, and they're going to be pretty annoying a whole lot. And everybody's going to hate them. Also, we probably need to go ahead and change our tunic so we can actually breathe. Somebody mentioned that it's possible to beat the water temple and the ice cavern and all that without also heart peace. Yeah, be hearts for collect the beat with 2 more beat. Okay. Yeah, somebody actually mentioned in the comments of one of the last few videos that it's possible to beat the water temple and all that without getting the blue tunic. I did not know that. I mean, I guess when you think about it, it's actually not super surprising. Because there aren't a lot of sequences where you're just underwater for a copious, couple minutes at a time. There are a few longer sequences, but even then, I don't think any of them are over a minute, assuming you don't just, get lost and stay down there or something. So, I mean, I guess it's entirely possible to beat it without the water tunic, the blue tunic. But needless to say, it makes it quite a bit more easy. More easy. Again, not proper English. Oh, hey, it didn't thunder that time. So yeah, needless to say, it's a lot easier with the blue tunic, so, yeah, I would suggest... What? Epona! Epona! I trained you better than that. I didn't train Epona at all. Come on, Epona. You can do, I believe, more in you than that. Okay. So we're heading to the lake so we can go to the next temple, which is, that's the thing. But... more importantly, actually no, not more importantly at all, as a sidetrack kind of thing, we're actually going to use this here plant over here by the lake laboratory. Yeah, we planted this as a kid, and stuff happened, blah, blah, blah. Go. I told you, man, Tektites are going to be haunting us in the next few episodes. Now, before we actually take this thing up here, or actually, let's take it up to the roof, and I know it's around here somewhere. There you are. Nope. No. You die. Wow, he nosedived down. Yeah. Get rid of that there crow thing first. I can't remember what they're called. Before, because he will knock you off this ladder, and it's painfully irritating when he does that. But anyways. Now you collect 3 pieces. So 2 within the first, 3 minutes of a video. That's pretty good. There are actual multiple ways to get up here. You can actually use the Scarecrow Song to get up here if you don't want to use the bean. Personally, I think the bean's easier, but hey, neither one of them is particularly hard. Anyways, let's go to the Lakeside Laboratory and jump into the pool because it's hot and Link needs to cool down. So let's put on the iron boots. There's a lot of money down here, which you can go ahead and get. Also, a oddly 3D yet still pixely shark in a cage. So that's kind of weird. Anyways, let's forget about that and roll into this oddly placed crate. Why is there a crate underwater in the first place? I don't really get that. Okay, Link, I'm gonna need you to cooperate with me here. The underwater, running around and rolling underwater is actually kind of weird in this game. Also, there's a spider underwater. Why? What sense does that make? And how are we gonna kill it? Well, I'll tell you how, Jimmy. Apparently, you guys are collectively known as Jimmies. Yeah, we use the hookshot. The hookshot is actually one of the only weapons you can use underwater, so we're gonna be using it a lot in the water temple if you didn't already guess. Now that we got that, and that should be gold sculpture number 72? No, 71. That should be gold sculpture number 71. I'm gonna check, this time. I'm gonna use my one episode per once per episode rule. That's 71. Why is it 71? Okay, yeah, that's 71. That's right. So I panic sometimes, man. All right, that's actually all the side stuff we need to do. So now we can actually move on to the next temple of that there dungeon. Yeah. Actually, right under here, if you couldn't guess by the large spiky thing sitting up under in the ground. Yeah. We got to put on our iron boots and sink all the way to the bottom where the ground is so that we can enter the temple. Actually, more so we can use our hook shot so we can then enter the temple. You have to be on flat ground to actually use the hook shot. Use the hook shot and hit switch. Hit switch. Hit switch. Hit switch. Thank you. And it opens up the gate so that we can proceed into our destiny. Alright, so a few things about this temple. It's confusing. Some people say it's easy, but the majority of people I talk to say this is definitely the hardest temple in the game. And I follow along with that too as well, mostly just because of... It's confusing more than anything. The layout is just very... I want to say like open-ended, and it's get check tight. Ugh! They're so annoying. It's just very open-ended and can be kind of confusing, and it's just hard to kind of get used to. It's not that bad once you play through it a few times, and I know on Master Quest it's like a bajillion and a half times worse, but it can be quite a little trip. So I don't know. I don't really expect it to go as well as the Forest and Fire Temple did, just to be perfectly honest. But hopefully, you know, I didn't think those would go that well either, and they went fine. And I did just practice this yesterday, so it's still relatively fresh in my mind. I took a lot of notes. Normally, whenever I do a temple, I don't take a whole lot of notes. The only notes I take are where the gold sculptures are. Everything else I just do from memory from my practice round. But with this one in particular, I actually like took notes of which room to go into in which order and all that. So hopefully that's going to help me out here. I really hope so. Alright, so we need to go up there in that top room real quick just to push that block, because we're going to have to do something with it later. And we don't really want to have to mess around and waste time with this temple's... Okay, I'm going to spoil something. The main mechanic in this temple is changing. Ruto! How are you doing? Didn't know you were going to be here. I didn't prepare anything. Oh, you. If I'm right, Link? You're Link, aren't you? Yeah. It's me, your fiance, Ruto, Princess of Zora. You don't look bad. You know, for a naked fish lady. You're twitching a little bit, but yeah, there's that. I never forget the vows we made to each other 7 years ago. You're a terrible man to have kept me waiting for these 7 long years. I was asleep in another dimension. You know, I take the blame. I'm not that interested in you in the first place. We'll just get that out of the way. But I will not take fault for the fact that I was put to sleep in another dimension for 7 years. Okay? Glad we got that out of the way. I'm sure you've already seen it. Zora's domain. I keep switching in and out of voices. I'm sorry. Totally frozen. Yes, it is. A young man named Sheik saved me from under their ice. Well, that's good for him. He's very helpful. I know. We've talked. But my father and the other Zoras have not yet. Actually, your father is fine. I saved him from the blood ice. He helped me get eye drops for a Goron. So that was my day. How's your day been? You have to help me destroy the evil monster. I mean, that's kind of why I'm here. It's okay. There are 3 places where you can change the water level. I was actually just going to mention that to the lovely audience here. And she'll lead the way to the first place so we can change the water level. Yeah, there are 3 places you can change the water level in the temple. That's the main mechanic of this. The reason we wanted to push that block first was because if you don't, you'll have to do it later, and you'll have to change the water level like 2 times to actually do it. And it can be kind of annoying traversing from one place to the other while you're trying to change the water level and all that. So just get it out of the way first and head up there. That's a big crack in that wall. Alright, so let's follow Princess Ruto, who conveniently disappears for some reason, all the way up here. And first things first, we'll go into this room, get locked in, and hey, new enemies. Ow. Okay, blocking did not work with that. Yeah, these things are actually pretty easy to destroy. I used to think, actually, that... Get out of my way, you fool! Ow. This is not going as well as I'd hoped. I used to think they actually had to pick those up and throw them like they were rocks. You do not. You can actually destroy them in multiple ways. They're actually pretty weak. As you saw, 4 of them barely did any damage to me. One good thing about this temple is that there are actually a lot of hearts in it. So you shouldn't have too many health problems, especially if you've been playing long and you have as many hearts as we do. So already, we've been in this temple less than 5 minutes, and we already get the dungeon map. There is a reason for that. Is because this, like I said, this dungeon is laid out very confusingly. So they kind of give you the map just as a saving grace, because you will need it, I promise you. Alright, so here's the first area that we can change the water level in. It is wherever you see this little Triforce symbol, you can change it. All you gotta do is play Zelda's Lullaby, and the water level shall change to a set amount. So that's cool. You know, that's just really cool. I'm really happy with that. I threw on my most, like, serious, like, laid-back voice I possibly can. Alright, so now that's done, we can come down here, and as you see, the torch from before is lit. So let's see if we can light up these other torches. You can actually use Dense Fire to do this, but really, I mean, I think they want you to use the bow more than anything, because the one there is lit and all that. I don't know, whatever. It really doesn't matter, to be fair. Stock up on arrows, because there are several points in this game where you're actually, or in this temple where you actually need them to destroy some Tektites. I don't like these things, these clams. Clams, they bother me. Clam! They bother me. They're pretty easy to beat, though. Just whenever you get close to them, they'll spin around and do that, and it hurts. But first, they'll actually immediately expose their weakness. Oh, and how did I miss? Who's he targeted? Oh, yeah, wait for him to turn around all the way, or else that happens. Alright, Clam. You getting on? What? Hey, you didn't even give me a shot that time. Come on. Come on. Turn around. I dare you. Bam. You sucker. Try to trick me like that crap, man. Alright. Another thing about this this dungeon is that there are lots of keys. There are very few times you'll only actually have one key in this dungeon. Most of the time you'll actually have multiple keys, which is pretty good, actually, to be honest with you. Alright, so let's head out from where we got that first key. Oh, it's a swastika. No, it's not. I don't know. People confuse me. For whatever reasons, people seem to think that that's a swastika. I don't get it. I guess because, also obvious, cracked ground is obvious. I guess because Zelda has a history of using the swastika symbol, although it's not meant to be a swastika. The thing about the swastika, for those of you who don't know the history and all that, is that Adolf Hitler kind of bastardized that symbol. It's actually been used in multiple cultures as a symbol of peace and love and friendship is magic and other stuff. And Hitler kind of took that and said, nah, I'm going to use it for massive hate, because that was how Hitler rolled, really. He was all about the hatred, man. He was a very not cool dude. And he decided to take and adopt that symbol for his own uses and pretty much ruined it for life. But actually, if you look on different Buddhist statues and stuff like that, a lot of them will actually have a swastika on it. And that is actually why. Because it's a symbol of peace. And it's actually probably the most relevant, at least if you don't count the actual Nazi use. Am I actually... I'm not blocking crap with that, am I? It's most relevant as a Nazi symbol, but what it was most... Hey, spin attack. Okay, apparently I need to use a Master Sword to do this. In order to hit the switch that's behind this grate, you have to spin attack, but apparently the big Goron sword will not work. You have to use a Master Sword for that. Didn't realize. And we have another gold scutula. Ow. And we have another gold scutula. Okay, that's really and that should be gold scutula number 72. I'm not gonna check. I'm not gonna check. I'm not gonna check. I'm not gonna check. That one's actually kind of out of the way. That's the only thing in this room, and you have to have the water load to come in here and get that. So, make sure to try and get that the first time, so you don't have to come back later, because it could be quite annoying. Quite annoying indeed. Alright. We'll switch back to Big Goron Sword, put on our iron boots, and continue on our lovely way. But yeah, Hitler bastardized the symbol. That should have been a good symbol, to be honest with you. So, next time you see a swastika, think about how it's supposed to be, not how it is. The more you know, and knowing is half the battle. Alright. So now we've done that, we can continue on to the dungeon. I used to think... I remember a while back I heard that there's a secret to this dungeon, in which case you just go counterclockwise. And that's like the major secret, and you know, and I've done that several times. It works. It's not the most efficient. I think the way I'm doing now is really the most efficient way. I could be wrong. If I am, feel free to correct me and tell me your way of doing it. I will listen and maybe even try it out one day. But I think the way I'm going about it is actually the most efficient and non-time consuming way. So, keep that there in mind. Alright. Sorry, my throat's getting a little perched. This is the second episode in this recording session. This recording session should end up being 3 episodes, so... Probably don't need to be getting all parched yet, John. You got lots of stuff to take care of before that. Alright. This is why I said that and I said alright like a bajillion and a half times. This is why I said we're gonna need a lot of arrows for this dungeon, is because these freaking tech types, man. They're really annoying. They take 2 arrows each to kill, and they're just generally... They're just annoying, and they're everywhere. It's like the main enemy of the water temple. Jump! There we go. And jump! Awesome. If you fall down there, it'll let you get back up. You don't circle around or anything like that, so don't worry too much about it. And here we are in a lovely Whirlypool's room of death and destruction and doom. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's jump in, and right when you're above this the end of this little snaky statue thing. Oh. I'm not gonna be able to climb up that, am I? Nope. Well, crap. I mentioned in the ice cavern episode that it's really annoying that we're gonna have to switch back and forth between the iron boots and regular boots, and this is that in action. You're gonna be seeing that a lot. All right, so let's hit the switch right here, and then immediately. This is timed. No, you're being stupid, John. It does not give you a whole lot of time here either. Ow, run. I don't care. Clams, you can attack me as much as you want, as long as I get in here. You can actually hook shot over here first and then hit the switch, so it gives you a bit more time. But it's pretty difficult to do. You have to be almost frame perfect. So, well, maybe not frame perfect, but you have to stand in a very particular place to do it. So really, and it's not just super hard to do it in the first place. So, it's whatever you want. Really, it's just whatever you want. Once we get the small key, though, we can actually head out of here. Like I said, a lot of abundance of keys in this dungeon. So you'll pretty much always have multiple keys in your inventory. At least if you go about it a set way like I am. Yay! One thing about these dungeons is they have to be super well made, because as you saw, we passed a locked door earlier and we could have used our key on that. But that would have been bad. Well, it would have, like, not necessarily set us back, but it would have confused us, and it's just stuff like that. I do appreciate when they make these temples, because they have to put thought into pretty much every possible way you could go through that temple. Otherwise, they end up, having the possibility of a game-breaking mistake or something like that if you use a key on the wrong door at the wrong time. So it's really impressive that they actually make these dungeons foolproof, I guess would be the word to use, although probably not. Anywho, now that we've got that, we can take off the iron boots, Link, you stupid fool. We can actually finally come over here to where we saw the locked door earlier and head inside. Head inside. When we get in here, we will actually see that there's a very tall column full of hook shots. There's actually a gold skull shot there that we can't do crap about right now. We'll worry about that later. First thing we need to do is hook shot all the way, well, not all the way up the tower, but a significant amount up the tower. Well, and by significant amount, apparently I just mean 1. And, yeah, that gold sculpture we're not going to be able to get right now, actually, so he'll just haunt your dreams for the moment being. Let's raise the water level. Good old Zelda's lullaby. So this is the key that actually always trips people up right here. It's yet another small key. Why didn't you raise the water? Raise the water. Raise the roof. Raise the roof. We don't need no water. Let that mother effer burn. That was inappropriate. I'm sorry. Yeah. Alright, you see where it lifted up that platform? It's very, very subtle, but you actually need to sink back down right here. And there's actually a hole under where that platform raised up, where there will be a key as our prize. That's the one that always screwed me up. That's the one that seems to always screw everybody up, is this key right here. Do not fall on the spikes, Link. Link, you're not listening. Thank you. Thank you, Link. Yeah, this is the key that always confuses people. I would always skip this one, and the thing is, you don't have to get it right away. You can come back at pretty much any time in the dungeon to get it. So, it's really annoying, basically, is what I'm saying. Once we hit that switch, we'll actually open a grate right here that drops down a ton of enemies. So let's try and pick these suckers off one at a time. It's actually not that hard, because if you stay at a decent distance like I am right here, you can just Z-target and then hookshot all the spiky rock monsters out of the way. Rock lobster? Huh, that's what I'm going to call those now. And then you can just kind of like slowly pick the clams off. Clam! One at a time. I don't really necessarily mean that as a Game Grumps reference. Although it really is a Game Grumps reference, but really it's just funny. I like saying clams like that. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh heartily. Anyways, once we kill those, this grate opens up, and we can come in here and get yet another small key. Yay! Small keys are the best for all around. Hippity hoppity, scoopity scoppity. Alright, once we're done with that, let's head all the way back to the main room. Something Zelda does a lot, and I don't think I've mentioned it yet, is that a lot of the temples, especially in more recent games, have like main hub areas that you continuously go back to. I think some of the 2D games before Ocarina of Time had it, but this is really the first 3D game that had it, obviously, because it's the first 3D game, that had a main room type area like that. And it can be kind of confusing. I don't know. I don't really necessarily count it as backtracking. I mean, you guys know how I feel about backtracking. I don't really necessarily count it as that, but at the same time, it's just one of those things where it's a way to tie it's a way to tie the dungeon together. That is the words I'm trying to say. Okay, I need to find out where I am on the map, where I came out at. The only way to really do that, let's see, because I need to go west, if I remember right. That, I think that's east, so it should be on the opposite side of this. Let's find out! Alright, these Tektites, you can hear them. They haven't jumped down. Oh, there they go, falling from the sky. Yeah, those Tektites continuously respawn each time you head into this main room. I really hope this is west. I don't want to waste a key here. I'll throw the entire episode off. That would be bad. Alright, was this in fact west? It was! Hippity-hoo, hooray! That makes me happy. Alright, get on the water, spout thing, and hit the switch thing, and... Hey! 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 No! Tektites, man. They've got to be one of my least favorite enemies in Zelda, just because of how extremely annoying they are. And I mean, they just really are so annoying! It's amazing! Alright. This actually takes us all the way up here to the third and final area where we can change the water level. Yay. Yay. Oh, wait, I didn't mean to do that. No, I didn't need to do that. I didn't need to do that. Wait a minute, my notes are off. Oh, yay. Alright, I'm gonna cut here and I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, and we are actually back here in the center room. I just raised the level, or lowered the level back to mid. Bad news is I did make a mistake. Good news is it wasn't a huge mistake. Alright, so before we head west, over to where I used the key a while ago, we actually need to head east. So let's do that for the love of us holy. Honestly, though, in terms of mistakes, that was not a super bad one. It's easily fixed. We just have to go and lower the water and then raise it back up to mid-level. That wasn't too bad. It could have been so much worse. If that's the only mistake I make throughout this dungeon, I will be pretty happy. So, on the bright side, yeah, not that bad. So let's hookshot on up here. As you can see, there's yet some more switches and crap like that. There are actually several ways to do this. You could use a bomb. Really, to me, the easiest way is to come over here, right in front of the chest, and use the arrow. It will only stay, whenever you hit the switch, the water will only stay gone for like a split second, so you don't have long. Personally, I find this to be the easiest way. And with this, we actually get the compass, which will make this temple even that much easier. Once you have the map and compass, this temple gets quite a bit easier. There definitely, you know, people make fun of those are spikes. People make fun of the map and compass being useless in some dungeons and temples and stuff like that. In this one, in particular, though, it's a lifesaver having that thing, man. They make it so much easier to tell where you're coming from, where you're going. It's good to have. All right, so now that that's done, now this is when we're supposed to head up here to the third area where we can change the water. So now pretend I'm using the key for the first time. Chick chick, and now it's open. I know that's not at all the noise it makes. I apologize. All right, Tektite is probably respawned if I had to guess. Yep. Aha! You thought I was gonna fall for your little tricks. No, sir. No, I did not. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. That's not that, John. That's not how that saying goes. I'm sorry. You failed massively at it. Anyways, alright, now, back on track. Let's raise the water all the way to the highest level. Yay. Yeah, you're gonna have to be playing Zelda's Lullaby a few times throughout this entire dungeon. Dungeon? What is a dungeon? I don't know what a dungeon is, man. I don't... Oh, crap. We forgot something again! No! Oh, I'll see you guys in a second. And here we are, once again, raising the water to mid-level. Before you change it to the highest level, for the third time, you need to go back... Where the frick? Raise the water, you fool! I knew this was gonna happen. This didn't even happen on the practice round. This is the first temple I've actually done worse actual recording than the practice round. Okay, so when you first raise the water up to mid-level right here, you need to go do the go to the mid-east room to get the compass like we did, and then you actually need to go to the lower east room, back where we first saw Gerudo, so we can get yet another small key. You actually the water needs to be at mid-level for this. If you remember right, we actually passed by a giant cracked wall when we were following Gerudo up. We're actually going there. So that's good. Oh! It's not even that hard. I just keep forgetting. I have it written down in my notes and everything. Okay. So swim up here. Be mid-level so we can climb up on the ledge here. And hey, look, there's a cracked wall. It's so blatantly obvious. Let's get the bombs out. Just skip it. I feel like blowing myself up. Blow up. You deserve that, Link. You deserve every moment of that. Alright, get the friggin' key. And then head over back to the place where you raise the water to the third level again. I'm actually gonna cut here and I'll see you guys there. Alright, third time's the charm. This episode's gonna end up being really long just because of this. I hope you guys know that. Just because of my massive failure. I don't know how much is getting cut out. Hopefully I get bit. But come on, Tectite, I know you're up there. Now is not the time to be playing with me, son. Not at all. Hit the friggin' switch! The good news is, the good news is at this point, this is pretty much the most confusing parts of the dungeon we're already done. So next episode should go a little smoother. Hopefully. Alright. So pretend this is the first time we've raised the water level this high. Once this is done, we actually head to the far west room, I do believe. Can you double check? Yes, okay. Far west room. Tectite, I know you're there. You need to get out of the way, man. Now is really not the time to be messing with me. Alright, so now we head over this way and use one of our mini keys that we've gotten to unlock the door there. Once you come through here, again, you'll notice that there is a... Well, first off, you'll notice that there are keys here. Get those out of the way first. And then you'll notice there's actually a gold sculpture on the wall over there. Once again, we can't do crap about that right now. It will, our time will come. Don't worry. What we're actually going to do is jump down here and then quickly start hookshotting our way up these, well, I say that. Quickly start hookshotting our way up these platforms. Quickly start hookshotting our way up these Quickly start hookshotting our way up these platforms. Thank you. Yeah. Each time you hit one, just quickly come on up and try not to miss. You just kind of have to work your way up. It's kind of unnecessary. I mean, it doesn't really classify as a puzzle, to be fair, but it's just more of an annoying speed aiming test, which this game has a few of, actually, but it's not that bad. Once you get that done, we come up here and use our final key that we have in our inventory to unlock this door. It can be quite annoying to get that door and then not have the key that you need. So, yeah. Alright, and then we gotta finish this room. First things first, take out the Tectites. Again, you'll find that being a very common theme in this dungeon, as I've said before. I mean, are Tectites really, like, supposed to be that specific of a watery enemy? Really, I mean, you see them everywhere, but whatever. Once all of them are done, you can use the hookshot or the bow, doesn't matter, because change the switch. This is actually one of the few instances in this game of a 2D Zelda trope being used. In 2D Zeldas, they often have switches that are red and blue that you have to hit back and forth to change blocks up and down. And in this one, it's the same thing. It's a red and blue switch that, if you hit it, thank you, will move stuff up and down. It's, I don't know, making some of the Zelda tropes didn't hit the switch. Some of the Zelda tropes didn't really translate that well over to 3D. This is one of the particular ones that did, actually, though, which is pretty neato, if I do say so myself. Once again, hook shot, hook shot, hook shot. Yeah, man, this is getting to be so annoying. Luckily, though, like I said, this should be the longer of the 2 Water Temple episodes, because we had a little bit to do in the first part and all that, so we shouldn't have to worry too much about that here coming up. We have used so many arrows in this room. It's not even funny. Not even funny, dog. Finally, once we're done there, we see we have once again some more Tektites. Kill them all. You all deserve to die horrible deaths. And a like, which can be dispatched pretty easily with some berms, which we will be doing now. And it does slowly start kind of pouring towards you. Come on. Ba-boom! Bye-bye, Mr. Tektite. Once that's done, make a hook shot over the spikes. Break open the pots, because I believe there's some fairies in here. Nope. Nope. It's actually magic. I think they actually give you magic because the enemy you're about to fight, most people tend to use dense fire on. Oh, hey, look, it's a pretty little room. It's a very open little room. One of my favorite areas in the game with one of my least favorite fights, actually. This is actually the mid-boss of this dungeon, and the reason I suggested getting the big Goron sword. As you can see, we can't really go around or anything. Can't do crap there. It's an invisible wall blocking us from there, so let's turn around and see if we can leave. Oh, hey, look. There's a shadowy figure by the tree. And yay. It's Dark Link, yes. A very common enemy in Zelda games. The only time you really see him in this particular incarnation. Big Goron sword makes this enemy a whole lot easier. Honestly, without the Big Goron sword, to me, this is one of the hardest fights in the entire game. By far, like, more so than any boss. Just because it's almost impossible to land a hit on him with the Master Sword. Oh, and he teleports. Don't teleport. See, that easy. Yeah, that usually have such a more difficult problem. Whoa, everything's going all phasey. Usually have such more of a problem with him than that. The Big Goron sword makes him that much easier. Alright. Excuse me. Throat is becoming dry. So with that, let's get our prize. Speaking of, what is our prize? Hurry up, moving it, Link. You're being so slow. You found the long shot. It's an upgraded hook shot. The end. That's the entirety. It is an upgrade to a weapon we already had, which is kind of lame, but kind of cool at the same time. Alright, that's actually it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for putting up with me. Like, leave a comment, tell me what I did right, what I did wrong, subscribe if you want to see more, and please share with your friends. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time in The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Water Temple Edition.